The lack of a resident obstetric gynecologist at the Mumper Municipal Hospital in the Ashanti region seems to be raising life-threatening concerns. Emergency cases, depending on the complexity, are either booked for a visiting obstetric specialist on Fridays or transferred. The hospital also lacks a general surgeon, an eye specialist, and an obsolete medical equipment, making it increasingly difficult to save lives in a referral hospital which serves more than 100 communities. Lava Firm's Erastus Asaridonko has been assessing the situation there and our reports.
The Mumper Municipal Hospital, built over 40 years ago, receives over 50,000 patients annually. It serves as a referral point for about 5 districts in the Ashanti region, serving more than 100 communities. Space is not one of its challenges. The hospital boasts of a 69-bed maternity unit, over 110-bed capacity wards, nurses' space, and other underutilized spaces. The facility's headache stems from inadequate specialist staff, obsolete laboratory, and theater equipment.
The total staff strength for medical officers in general is 5 of them and 1 dental surgeon. Yeah. And then I must add that we have 1 visiting gynecologist who always come here on every Friday.
Emergency cases, depending on the complexity, will have to wait for a specialist.
As a referral facility in the whole of Mumper municipality and the adjoining district, if we don't have a resident specialists in ONG, it means that the cases that we have been receiving here, especially the complicated one, have to find their way out to Confanochi, and that will create a lot of inconvenience to the clients that access health service here.
So, out of 104 referrals done as of September this year, 34 were obstetric cases. 8 of them needed urgent support. As of September this year, the Mumper Municipal Hospital had recorded 123 deaths, 2 maternal deaths, and 3 children under 5. The hospital also recorded 35 stillbirths within the same period. Though hospital officials cite ruptured uterus, intrauterine deaths, irregular antenatal visits, and other complications as cause of maternal and child deaths, they indicate an urgent need for a specialist obstetric gynecologist.
Some of the cases are really complicated. So if we had specialists here, then they would take care of the complicated ones. You see, because most of the time we are forced to take care of these complicated ones.
The hospital also badly needs a general surgeon and eye specialist to boost health delivery. Reporting for JoyNews, Erastus Asaridonko, Kumasi.
And away from health, women farmers in the country are making a passionate appeal to government to help them remove barriers they encounter in farming and its related activities to boost their income. The lack of access to credits and irrigation facilities, and also lack of access to tractor services and inadequate extension officers, especially women, are hampering their work on the farms. This came to light at the 2-day National Smallholder Women's Farmers Conference organized by ActionAid Ghana in Wa. Rafik Salam now reports.
The National Smallholder Women Farmers Conference was held on the theme Influencing Gender-Responsive Budget for Agriculture, Time to Increase Investment for Smallholder Women Farmers. It brought together representatives of over 100 women groups from the 6 operational regions of ActionAid Ghana. Country Director of ActionAid Ghana, Sumaila Abdul Rahman, opening the conference, spoke about key challenges that women farmers go through in farming-related activities and why they need to support them.
The statistics have shown that when it comes to agriculture, then the role of women is very crucial and central. and that we have over 70% of the 51% of the women population in this country involved in agriculture. And so by that, it is fair that when it comes to investments in agriculture, it is important that we look at the role that women do and invest heavily. It's a question of equity and justice.
Agriculture is the backbone of the country's economy, and about 80% of total agriculture production is attributed to smallholder farmers, including women. Women contribute to about 78% of agriculture production, which includes handling, processing, and marketing. However, they are the most that are confronted with serious constraints, such as limited access to productive resources, such as land, improved seed, credit facilities, and access to market, among others. Participants at the two-day conference call on the government to change the status quo in 4 main areas to help women farmers in the country. They included inadequate extension officers, especially women, and lack of access to tractor services. Yusuf Hawulutu and Abuya Ernestina are farmers from Bimbala and Nabdam districts.
At times, the men, when you are even free to the extension officer, people may claim that maybe you are a friend to him, and your husband will not be happy. Maybe the day that you are even going to him to come to your farm, maybe your husband will be thinking otherwise. The wife too may be suspecting, maybe this woman is having an affair with my husband. That is why she's always disturbing my husband to come to her farm. So for that matter, we are appealing to government to also add female to this, the extension officers, so that when it is a lady, it will be easy to consult.
When it rains and we doesn't get the tractor to plow early, we normally sow late, which we does not encourage with the farmers, because at the last we get low yields, which discourage us on farming. But so far as we are here, if the government is able to provide this tractor service for us, I think our farming will end successful for us.
Deputy Airports Regional Minister Hamidu Chinyere Isaku assured the women farmers that government will take a serious look at their concerns.
We all identify that women are a key stakeholder in our families, in our communities, and our country. So we have to make conscious effort to support the development of women. And that is why this promise was made. And I am sure that in the area of Maslow and other interventions, we are going to take it up and ensure that we are able to support you through these interventions.
The project, named Promoting Opportunities for Women Empowerment and Rights, POWER, is a 5-year project expected to end in 2020 and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands. Azwe Mesuna is the national coordinator of the project.
We've seen that when we conduct research, the program doesn't really benefit them. They are neglected and they don't assess some of these packages. So this conference is to highlight some of these policies, let them know that they are there and they have the right to it, to also talk to government to ensure that a percentage of their budget is allocated specifically for women farmers, so that we don't see just that general vague statements, agriculture is having this budget, and at the end, nothing is done for women farmers.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam.
President Akufo-Addo says he expects a comprehensive report with recommendations from the 9-member Commission of Inquiry constituted to inquire, recommend and specify, if required, where referendums are to be held for the creation of new regions in 6 months. The clamor for new regions featured prominently in the run-up to the 2016 general elections, with the then governing NDC also promising to create additional 5 regions, whilst the opposition MPP promised 4. At the inauguration of the commission at the Flagstaff House Thursday, the president said it is only proper he invokes provisions of the Constitution that relates to the creation of new regions, following the advice he received from the Council of State.
The citizenry should ignore information or speculation being circulated on the alleged demarcation, naming, or siting of regional capitals. Indeed, there have not been any predetermined regional boundaries, specific names given to any region to be created, and citing of regional capitals by my government. These are matters that are properly within the remit of the Commission and will be dealt by them and form part of their recommendations. In the event that this Commission, through its consultations with the people, comes to the conclusion that there is a need and substantial demand for the creation of new regions or alteration of regional boundaries, and required by Article 5, Clause 4 of the Constitution, to refer their recommendations to the Electoral Commission for the conduct of a referendum in the specified areas on the issues set forth by the Commission. The Electoral Commission must then conduct a referendum at which at least 50% of the persons entitled to vote cast their votes, and of the votes cast, at least 80% cast in favor of the demand for the creation of a region to succeed. At the end of the day, it is the will of the people that will determine the outcome. There exists significant evidence that the demands for the creation of new regions were not made to me alone, but also to other political leaders. It is instructive to note that in the course of the 2016 campaign of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, the main opposition party, the party pledged to facilitate the creation of 5 new regions had the party been successful at the 2016 elections. In the course of its 2016 campaign, the New Patriotic Party, NPP, the ruling party, also pledged to facilitate the creation of 4 regions. This clearly demonstrates that there is a meeting of minds of the 2 major parties on the need for the creation of new administrative regions. Indeed, one of the issues that came to the fore during the discussions at the meeting I held here at Flagstaff House with my predecessors, the 3 former presidents of the Republic, Their Excellencies Jerry John Rawlings, John Ajikun Kufuor, and John Dramani Mahama, was the substantial demands for the creation of new regions. The issue was discussed at length, and it was evident that all the past governments had also been seized with the matter over the years.
And already, there's been concerns about the siting of regional capitals of these proposed new regions, with suggestions that government is seeking to put the regional capitals in areas where the party has a stronghold. But Minister for Regional Organization and Development, Dan Botwe, who has been explaining the processes to JoyNews, MFRPO, says the siting of the regional capitals will not be left to government.
No demarcations have been drawn, no name have been given to any region, and no capital has been chosen for any region.
Okay. Now that you talk about capital, there are issues and concerns already that it looks like you have already decided where the capitals are going to be, at least in the 4 regions, and then also it's going to be situated such that it will be in a stronghold of the NPP, for instance. Has that come to your attention?
No, not at all, not at all. One interesting thing is, as we discussed earlier on, this is something that found expression in the manifestos of at least the 2 major political parties. 1, 2. And in going round, and the people we said that we have met and sensitized, we have met all members of parliament in the 4 regions. And I know, and you can always cross-check, that in the various parts of the regions, the 4 regions where the petitions came, the chiefs and people, when they meet, all people from different party persuasions are part of it. I mean, it's interesting to see members of parliament from different political parties all being part of the caucus of the committee prosecuting the agenda.
Let's talk about the Volta region, where I come from. In terms of where the capital will be placed, you have a map of it. I'm sure you have an idea by now.
No. Believe me, we are totally not. We are not partisan on this matter, and there will be no basis of having a preference as to where the capital will be. There will be no basis for that. And we made it clear when we made the Regional House of Chiefs that there's something that they will play a major role. And so we have assured the chiefs and people. Some of them have an idea what they want to do, and that's why at times people misconstrue. Some of them, in sending their petitions, had a whole map attached to the petition, or how they think their region should look like. And then, so it came from them, it didn't come from government. But in terms of region, capital, they themselves, on their own, are discussing, but they have decided that they will not talk about that matter. To quote some of them, the child has to be born first. They will have a lot of suggestions being made to them as to maybe where a boundary should be and where a capital should be, and even the name of the region. The name of the region. People try to bring, but again, we tried as much as possible to persuade them.
You've already heard about OT region.
Yes, those who brought the petition use that word OT because
it's not been endorsed yet.
Believe that there's a river, the OT river, and therefore they believe that the region should be named after that. But that is, you cannot take it from them. Their right to suggest, because it's something that their forefathers have always wanted to have. So you can't take it from them, they are right. They even brought a map of how the new region should look at, where the boundaries should be drawn. But that is for them to petition or to request. You cannot begrudge them.
But looking at the number of hurdles that you would have to be able to surmount before this facilitation or the creation comes into being, are you sure you're able to work within the timelines that you've set for yourself?
Yes. Like I said, we started early by talking to people who have sent their petitions. We also knew that you need certain state institutions, the NCC, for example, because it's a constitutional imperative. People say they want it, and the people have to be educated, have to understand the whole thing.
And before we go, the Minister of Communications, Esula Owusu-Ekufo, has vowed to ensure that the National Communications Authority continues to enforce its laws on regulation of national spectrum. The NCA last month sanctioned some 131 radio stations for breaching various aspects of the National Communications Act, leading to a revocation of the licenses of some, with others attracting hefty fines. Delivering a statement before Parliament, the minister revealed she had received petitions from some of the stations and intends to consider them on a case-by-case basis. The minority MPs, however, believed the fines were excessive and have been fighting back. There's more in the following report.
The NCA sanction of radio stations is one issue that caught the attention of many, including minority legislators who described the move as harsh with the potential of causing loss of jobs. Ningo Prampram MP Sam George proceeded to file a statement on the matter, but it wasn't admitted by the Speaker. Delivering her statement, Communications Minister Esula Owusu-Ekufo revealed some affected stations have petitioned her office on the matter.
Mr. Speaker, the same law that gives the NCA the power to sanction gives the minister, me, the power to review the sanctions when petitioned. I have received some petitions on this matter, and they will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. I am inclined to deal a little leniently with the community radio stations, but even they will pay a significant fine. All these stations must demonstrate their willingness to respect and obey obey the rules going forward. Mr. Speaker, we must acknowledge and applaud the NCA for having the guts to take this decision and encourage other agencies to do same.
Minority members then took turns to contribute to the statement. While some described the sanction as excessive, others called for mercy.
Right, Honorable Speaker, in ending, I will give you a typical example of some of the arbitrariness that has been shown by the NCA in the application of its punitive actions. The Gazette document, the schedule of penalties, of fees, it was gazetted on the 25th of April 2015. But you see the NCA using and that Gazette, one, must be put on record, was not approved by this House. But even if we forget about that, Right Honorable Speaker, you are a seasoned lawyer, and you know, Right Honorable Speaker, as many other lawyers in this chamber, that the laws of Ghana prohibit a retrospective application of laws.
Let us not engage in actions that will kill them. Let's rather support them. It is not for nothing that in enacting the law, there was a proposal to set up a fund, an investment fund, so that with that fund, we can support these establishments. So I appeal to the Minister for Communication that the ongoing effort to clamp down on certain radio stations, and of course, some of them, because of their previous notoriety, for certain statements that were made on those frequencies, I can understand some motivation. But Mr. Speaker, the truth of the matter is that this is not going to bode well for freedom of expression in this country.
We're told that some of these gazettes and others and the fee fixing have not come before this House, for this honorable House to give sanction and approval to such fees and levies. So on what score, on what authority? Honourable Member.
MP for Efutu Afenyo Markin, however, disagreed with the minority view. He insisted the NCA was acting within the law.
Mr. Speaker, it says to respect the rights, freedoms, and legitimate interests of others, and generally to refrain from doing acts detrimental to the welfare of other persons. Mr. Speaker, should we, in the name of free speech, allow radio stations to act irresponsibly? No. Should we, in the name of free speech, allow people to do anything detrimental to others? No. Mr. Speaker, when the issue of Muntiet 3 arose, the Supreme Court did not limit itself to the conduct. Mr. Speaker, when the issue of Muntiet 3 arose, the Supreme Court did not only limit itself to the offending parties. The Supreme Court went the extra mile of inviting.
And that's it for the news we have this morning. Just in case you want to get interactive, please, you can do so on Facebook. Join us on TV. We're streaming there live, and it is possible for you to watch us. Also on our channel on YouTube, My Joy Online TV, and through our Twitter handle, you can give us messages at JoyNews on TV. I have my regular handles on Twitter and my page on Facebook, etc. Roland Walker. Just make sure that you go look out for me.